So greetings. What I want to talk about now is how to create a running total when you are working with Excel. I recently started a new job, and part of that was figuring out where expenses came from. A check had been paid, and it was for a combination of different expenses, but there was no indication as to what had been paid with that amount. So I used Excel as sort of my calculator, and I created a running total so that I could see the exact point where the expenses added up to the amount I was looking for. So I created a running total. Basically speaking, running totals are pretty easy to create. So I'm going to click in the cell where I want the result to appear. I'm going to type equal and then sum, and then I'm going to choose the first cell, put in a colon, and then be sure that the second cell is selected. What you want to do is you want to then click between the column letter and the row number for the very first amount or the very first cell reference, and you want to make that absolute. On my computer, I would press F4, and that gives you the absolute value symbol between before the column total and the row number. And then I'm going to close this and press enter. So now you will see that I have a running total. So as expenses were added, the total was adjusted accordingly. However, what happened was I had created a running total before I had started to enter numbers. So then you can see here that anywhere where the formula appeared, it automatically carried down this number. And if you are like me, I am very OCD about certain things. Uh, I do not want to necessarily see numbers until I need to see numbers. So the second formula that I have put in this text box is what you would need to do to show only a total when there is a number to be totaled. So in this cell, just as an example, I would type the equal and then the if, the parenthesis. I'm going to select this cell. So now I am creating an if statement. So then I am going to do greater than and less than, and then I'm going to do two quotation marks, which basically I am just telling Excel that if cell 4, B4 is greater than or less than 0, then what do you want it to do? You want it to sum. And what do I want it to sum? I want to go back to that running total formula, which is just B4 colon B4. I'm going to go back and make sure this is absolute. So again, using the F4 key on my keyboard. And then I can close this. Then I can close the if statement, parenthesis. And you can see by the little drop down, once I put in the comma, now I need, what do I want it to do if there is nothing in cell B4? I'm going to put the quotation marks to indicate that I want to leave it blank, close out the function with another parenthesis, and then press enter. So now when I fill this formula down to the end, you will see that it only put numbers in where I had a number in column B. So if I add a new expense, it's going to automatically give me the running total that includes that new expense. I hope this helps. I find running totals to be very useful in a variety of situations.